welcome back. I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my vlog in search of me, Tiffany and James, our infertility journey. So, the last time I talked to you guys, I was preparing for a baby shower at my job. I was dreading it because, as I talked about, this particular girl and I, we had talked a lot about our prior to conceiving journeys, and I would have been due approximately about a month after her. So my whole thing was trying to get out of that timeline. The same thing with my girlfriend that's having her baby shower on Saturday, and we were due the exact same week. So I'm actually feeling like I'm in a better place. I will actually have a class. I won't be able to attend her shower fully, but I will go at the end and drop off a present. But I'm just starting to embrace that it's just not my time. I'm not in their timeline anymore. Our babies won't be growing up together, and just trying to get past that. So thank you guys for those of you guys that reached out and left your messages and comments, and for your support. And because it can be very hard to go through that, and it was something that I wanted to discuss, and I wanted to be transparent about my feelings regarding that. So to pick up where we left off on my previous vlog about my trying to conceive journey, we last talked about in December of 2017, after I did a stim and I had some eggs retrieved, and they thawed. Well, they actually froze 4. They froze 4. And I went to stim again right away because we did not do any, we did not put any sperm to egg with the November retrieval. In December, I stemmed again, and we actually did another retrieval. With this retrieval, my husband did do his T's, which is when his urologist met us at the clinic at 5 a.m. And they did a needle extraction from his testicle to actually extract some sperm. So they did this at 5 a.m. in the morning. They said everything went okay. The urologist said my husband did wonderful, states that he didn't even budge when the needle went in. They do numb them a little before, but my husband said it's like a little projector thing that kind of like went in and extracted some tissues, and it was given to the embryologist. He was to look for some sperm, viable sperm, and he reported back to the urologist right away whether he needed to do another extraction or not. So actually one extraction yielded enough sperm for us to use for, they felt like, for my retrieval. So with my December 2017 retrieval, they actually retrieved, I'm looking at my notes, they actually retrieved 12 eggs on that retrieval. 7 were mature. So they were actually impressed because at that time I was 42. So the 7 mature. Then they went to thaw the 4 eggs that we had froze in November. When they went to do the thaw, only 1 thawed. So I had a total of 8 eggs to be inseminated. They inseminated 8 eggs. And we got the report on day 1, because my clinic does a 1-day report, a 3-day report, and a 5-day report. And we had not talked about a fresh transfer. We were talking about a fresh transfer, a frozen transfer, so we could do PGS testing. So they inseminated the 8 eggs, the 7 from the retrieval that were mature, and the 1 that they were able to thaw out of the 4. So I lost 3 eggs from that thaw. On day 1 report, we had 3 of the 8 that had fertilized. So I was happy, I guess. I didn't even think that more should have fertilized. I was just happy that I got 3 that fertilized. On the day 3 report, we only had 2 eggs remaining. 1 of them had arrested, so we only had 3. On day 5, we only had 1 egg remaining, and they wanted to watch that one for another night. So they let it grow some more. Day 5, they went to day 6, and on day 6 they said, let's just let it go one more day and then we're going to freeze it. So we let it go to day 7. The morning of day 7, my husband and I were actually at the clinic for ultrasound and lab results, and we were in the waiting room at the lab, and I got the phone call, and she was like, "Tiffany, unfortunately, I have some bad news." And I was like, what is it? In the meantime, all these other women are sitting in the lab waiting for their lab draws, and I'm having this conversation. And so they called me to come into the lab room and to get my labs drawn. And I was on the phone, so I didn't want to look rude, but I didn't want to hang up the call because I'm talking to the embryologist wherever she is in the building, So I went to go sit in the lab chair, and she told me, as I put my arm out to have my blood drawn, she said that it arrested, it just didn't make it. And she said it even started to look cloudy. And I was like, so I have none. So I asked if I could get my husband to come into the lab so I could tell him, because I'm trying to hold back emotions. I'm feeling devastated. I'm feeling depleted too for some reason. And they're like, no, he can't come in here. This is private. And I'm like, okay. So I hung up, and I told the lab girl, I was like, just draw my blood. And I think some tears started, running down my face. And so went out to the lab waiting room, and I was just already crying. And I looked at my husband, and I was just, it didn't make it. And of course, you got the women in the lab waiting room, everybody's looking, and they're trying not to be nosy, but everybody is so vulnerable because of what they're going through. And with the waiting rooms, I always feel like the women want to share and talk to each other, but then they don't. And I'm like, why? Because we're all going through the same thing. Why can't we share? Why can't we talk about what we're going through? Because we're all there for a reason. Doesn't matter what the reason is, we're all there. So it looked like we're all trying to get we all got the same common goal. That's how I look at it. So we went out into the waiting room. We went out into the lobby from the waiting room, and I just fell apart in my husband's arms. I'm like, we have nothing now. This was our second retrieval. Out of all that, a total of about 19 eggs retrieved total. And we had nothing left, nothing. And so I just, I went on to work that day, and I tried to act like there was nothing major going on. I went to work, and I was just hurt, and I felt like out of 2 rounds of IVF, I had nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it. So I went to work, and then, they called me later, and my doctor called me, and he wanted to talk, and he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, just let me process some things, and then we'll go from there. So I ended up waiting some time before I went on to stim, before I went on to do another protocol. I actually didn't stim again until 2018. And in the process of all that, or in the meantime, I decided to look at all my options, whether it was donor egg, donor sperm, embryo adoption, surrogacy, whatever it was. What could I do? Whether it was going to be a different medicine protocol, what can I do to make things better? So I'll talk more about what I did for my next stim in my next video. I did want to say that pretty much I am TTCing currently right now. And remember, we are trying naturally because he did have a reversal November the 12th of 2018. I'm currently in my fertile days, so I'm trying to do the baby dance. So we will see. But thank you guys again for your support. I hope I'm being supportive to you guys as well that are going through this journey. I do watch several vlogs myself, and I'm a subscriber of several of you guys out there, and we're all in this together. I love you guys. Let's stay supportive of each other, and let's have a great week.